Alright guys, got a few books to show you that I've got in the last, I don't know, 2 weeks or so I guess. It is May 7th, 2017, and real quick I wanted to address something. I jumped on here, I'm trying to pay attention to messages, and I'm not quite sure what the buzz is, or if there's even a buzz, but there was a message in there from two people that, it always seems to be two people, but this time it was two people that I really don't recognize through YouTube. I guess they're subscribers, but something about getting the band back together, and I think they were talking about. I don't know why I'm being so freaking coy. They're talking about the guys who were considered OGs of the community going all the way back to 2010 and 2011. I really don't keep up with a lot of those guys. Some drama happens. Sometimes you just have lives that kind of take you in different directions and stuff. And a lot of those guys are still around, but I think we're going way. I don't know exactly specifically who they're talking about. For me, it was guys like Cacti 88, CTC Spirit 123, Comicman, some other people. But you know, Captain Strangelove is still around. Dakin Howlett is still around. I think Bromstar is still around. Constant Bromstar is still around. Hippies Collectibles was still around last I checked. And then you got guys who kind of been around long enough to where I can kind of consider them OGs and stuff, like the Great Legend. And then one of the main guys who I can't remember if he was around before me or if we came around. I kind of came in between like the first and second generation. I was like that one person that's kind of like, came in a weird spot. They found me. The first kind of generation of the comic book community kind of found me. Because I was putting up videos, one video per long box, because I was about to stick them in a closet. Instead of digging through them, I would just refer back to the video. I never thought anybody would be watching them. So it's not like, when I say they found me, it wasn't like a big talent search or anything. So anyway, but Gene Paul, getting back to what I was saying, Gene Paul Ace Peter is still around and been around, so yeah, if there's anybody specifically you're talking about, leave a comment or something, and I'll let you know if I've heard from them and stuff. You also got guys like Thuggy1 to check out, and I hate when I start naming off channels, because I get through filming and I think of all kinds of other people to put in there. But there's quite a few guys that have been around for quite a while, but it's not like we were the Beatles or anything, and you want to get that kind of band back together or something like that. They're still around, just different lives, different dramas, all kinds of reasons, just like. But anyway, getting back to the haul here, what's going on here. This is stuff I've gotten over I think the last 2 weeks and stuff, and I've kind of stopped saying where I got this stuff, just because of, like I said in the other videos, people seem to. It's one thing to let people know where this stuff is and meet them, if you run into them and be friendly and stuff. But I ran into a couple of people who were just absolute and complete dicks, so I'm kind of done. So anyway, I wanted to do a video talking about Miles Morales Spider-Man. Not so much a review of his comic or anything, but what I have seen with him with kids. And I've kind of held off doing it because right when I got ready to shoot the video one time, I was sitting there driving, collecting my thoughts and stuff. I thought I had something, and then it dawned on me, is he being written exactly like Peter Parker? So for me to want to come out with the type of video I was going to do and stuff, I figured it was time to maybe do a little bit of research. So I kind of found these two issues for just $1 a piece. The new Spider-Man from Ultimate Comics number 7 and number 11. Okay, so this will probably give me just enough to try to figure out why this character is so sacred out of what I've seen with my experience with collectors and stuff, and the look that comes on people's faces of why Miles Morales seems to touch base with a lot of people. Then there was, I'll go ahead and say that, the Mercer Mall, they had a card show. They have them, I don't know, just a couple times a year at the mall, and people show up with their sports cards, trading cards, things like that, and then every now and then there'll be a box of comics in there. I've sold there before. So I found these for $1 a piece. This is going back to, I think, 2008, if I remember right. So basically we have the Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness Hulk run, where we got introduced to the Red Hulk right off the bat. So here's number 3. I kind of picked these up just out of the fun of it when I see them. Number 5, fighting Thor with the original Red Hulk. Just for fun. Jeff Loeb, to me, just kind of writes for fun. This is a variant cover. This is my second one of this one. The original cover, newsstand cover, however you want to put it and stuff, basically connects to this one. It's the Red Hulk throwing this punch here, so it would go over here somewhere, right? Those are just for fun. Now, Free Comic Book Day has come and gone. I don't do Free Comic Book Day videos anymore. I don't really know the last time I did one. Maybe if it was last year, bad on me or something. But go check out other people's videos to see all those books and stuff. But there's usually a sale that goes on if you have a decent comic book shop that's going on. And this comic book shop that's been there for a couple years with the new owners and stuff, apparently they had a pretty good sale this time. They had all back issues 50 cents, so I kind of went to town. And I found this in their box, Miracleman Apocrypha. Excuse me, Apocrypha. This. Oh, I'm alive. That. Okay. Sunday. I'm sleepy. But anyway, I had this. This has Neil Gaiman in it, sort of doing the bookends, the setting pages for the little short stories in between here. And you have people like Kelly Jones, Norm Brayfogle, Matt Wagner. Really good stuff. This came out around 91. This was a 3-issue miniseries. Of course, that is the series that Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore worked on separately. Sort of like it took a 50s character, a 1950s character of Marvel Man, who was basically an English version of Captain America, and then Moore brought him out and did some stuff to him and became stuff. Then I got a few of the reprints by Marvel. They recolored the series, and instead of putting Alan Moore's name down, they put original writer. And there's all kinds of reasons, but these have John Toddlebaum covers, which was a person who worked with Alan Moore and worked on the series. So this was kind of cool. Here's number 11 and number 12. So I thought these were very cool to have, just for the cover. And then this is a series that if I run across it, I pick it up because I just love the story. This is a book by Darwyn Cooke, who he did a lot of research to get the feel of this book. This book is set in the 50s, 1957, 58 specifically, I think, to kind of reflect the silver age of DC Comics. But these are just beautiful copies. These are probably definitely upgrades from the set I have. But it's just the last 3 books. Book 4, 50 cents. Book 5 for 50 cents, which I thought was fantastic. And book 6 of 6 for 50 cents. Just fantastic. You read this, everything from a freaking kitchen table in a living room to the cars to the way the characters talk, just works so well. It's really a labor of love, Okay, then I found these, and these are sort of like DVD extras for the comic. I finally flipped through there. There's sort of like some interviews, if you would call that. It's very loose, okay? And they show some of the art in progress and things like that. Because I just opened up one of them, man. But these are the Sandman Overture Special Edition. This is number 4. Really had to look this up, because this cover looks like the same as a variant cover. And as you can see, they just put the title of the book up at the top, and you kind of enjoy the art and stuff. It talks about G.H. Williams. So there's number, what was that, number 4 and number 5. There's a cat hidden on there. And there's the Earth hidden in there. So J.H. Williams' art just really blew people away on this, right? And then I'm always getting my goon. I'm always getting my goon and stuff. I got to check. I think this finishes the mini-series, but the Goon, Once Upon a Hard Time for 50 cents. This is number 4 of 4. Really good to find that. And then I'm a Garth Ennis guy. I've been back and forth with him. Met him last year. Fantastic guy. So there's a spin-off from his Hitman series. This is in Gotham, and Garth Ennis does not like superheroes, which is kind of funny. So he just made these ridiculous superheroes called Section 8, and this is All-Star Section 8. This was a 6-issue miniseries, I think. So here's number 3. This is pure comedy gold in Garth Ennis's dark style, if you will. Number 4. Haven't read these yet, and I find it interesting that excuse me. Alright, here's number 5. That's six-pack on the cover. Looks like some wild little. I love this cover. Absolutely love this cover. Six-pack, the drunk, who hangs out in a bar with Hitman. Number 6 is trying to drink Krypton or the bottle City of Candor, which I thought was freaking hilarious. All right, then apparently there was another sequel that came out, I guess last year, I think. But it was I didn't even know about this one, so I just have 2 issues of 6. But apparently it's Six-Pack and Dog Welder. And apparently there's a spoiler because that is not the original Dog Welder, so something must have happened. Six-Pack and Dog Welder number 2 with, Constantine. And cracks me up because just look at all the cigarettes. So that kind of cracks me up. And then, of course, these were also 50 cents a piece, but I'm not going to go through every one of them, man. But got a cool run of Star Wars, starting with issue number 7, going all the way up to number 18 of the original Marvel back in the day. The original Marvel, the original Star Wars there back in the day. John Byrne did a cover. Then I was on a road trip. Okay, I was on a road trip last weekend and just happened to stop to get gas. I looked over, there's a used bookstore. And I'm not going to say where this was at because I plan on going back, but you can take old movies, and they gave me a list. You can take old movies, old DVDs, Blu-rays, books, paperback, hardback, whatever, any genre, take them in there, and they'll look through them, they'll give you store credit, which I thought was fantastic. So when I go back, I'm going to store credit. But just look at the prices of this. I have most of these books, but I can't pass them up. Look at this. A quarter. Hawkworld. Number 1. This is back when it was like Dark Knight Returns took off, and a lot of characters at DC were starting to get their version of their Dark Knight Returns story, right? So this is Tim Truman coming in doing this fantastic story retelling of the origin of Hawkman. They're cops, but it reads like a freaking Vietnam story. And then yes, I got this. People laugh, but I dig it. Spawn Batman, got it for a quarter. And yes, these stickers will come off. I'm just going to use a hair dryer or something on them. Justice League, Another Nail. I will buy these miniseries by Alan Davis all day long. He did a nail, another nail, another nail. Superboy's Legion, Fantastic Four, The End. The only thing I haven't checked out of his is Clandestine Destiny or whatever it is over at Marvel. I don't know what that was about. But this is sort of like an Elseworld Tales of based on if the Kents got a nail in their tire and had to change the tire, and they missed seeing Kal-El crash land on Earth, and they didn't raise them. So this is the heroes coming up with a Superman without, the heroes coming out without a Superman in the world. What would have happened? And this is the sequel. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, the sequel just seemed like an excuse for him to draw every character that he could get his hands on in this series. Okay. OMAC. I got 2 copies of OMAC number 1 from John Byrne in 1991. This black and white stuff. I thought Jack Kirby didn't like it, didn't praise it, so I don't know how that affected John Byrne. But yeah, I love having reproducer copies come around, a quarter a piece. And then I found a whole trade. I've got this trade. I have every issue of Grant Morrison's JLA run, but this was 50 cents. And then I absolutely loved this when it came out. I think this is around 88 or 89. 1988, 1989, but it's Lex Luthor, or the unauthorized biography, which is just fantastic. And yes, he has a black glove on there because he started wearing a ring, like a class ring that had a piece of kryptonite in it to keep Superman at bay. And in the new John Byrne's Superman, the retcon that he did, or whatever you want to call it, the kryptonite radiation does affect everybody, just humans slower. And then I got these 4 issues here. Superman, Wonder Woman, Whom Gods Would Destroy. These were 75 cents a piece. And it's Chris Claremont coming out with some future story of Superman, I believe. Lana Lane have gotten old. Superman's an alien, so it's not affecting him. But what I'm really excited to find, because I love this person's art, is Legends of World's Finest. Walter Simonson, Daniel Brereton. He has this 60s pulp style of painting, and he's into horror. It's like he draws Halloween all year round. So I looked this up, and it has the actual story actually has high reviews. It gets about a 7 out of a 10 if you want to go that way with it. And of course I just love the art on it. So I think this is from 1994. I remember seeing this everywhere, but I didn't want to get them unless I could get all 3 of them. So we'll see what it's about, but it's just fantastic. And of course, I also got a movie for 95 cents, Johnny Mnemonic from the 90s. I actually loved this movie when I went and seen it in the 90s. It reminded me of a role-playing game where I was sort of like, had to double check to see if it was based on the role-playing game, and I never found out. And I can't remember what it was. I mean, we're going back over 20 years. But the greatest thing is I got excited because it was Dolph Lundgren showed up with this fantastic character that's in it. He was hired. Johnny Mnemonic, cyberpunk, if you will. It's like a high budget B movie. I enjoyed it a whole lot. All right, guys, that's it. Catch you later.